YouTube, we got news, baby. YouTube, there's a new world of smartphones, and that world is the world of skinny, super slim, super thin smartphones. In other words, the Galaxy S25 Edge versus the iPhone 17 Air this year. The Edge is closer to us, coming in, trying to undercut Apple on a May 13th announcement with a May 30th US ship date currently is what the rumors are hinting at. And that thing is gonna be quite thin itself with a little bit more robust offerings in comparison to the 17 Air, but there's a lot of mixed, tidbits when it comes to the 17 Air, but it seems one camera on the 17 Air versus the two on Samsung's. Samsung seems to have a larger screen and Apple is a little bit smaller, but Apple's even quoted to have OLED. So let's get into the deets in between these two, kind of do like a slight comparison. I don't know, you guys comment down below, is the new super slim skinny, this isn't it, phone the new move, or should they just focus more in on foldables? And apparently we just got word about Apple and a foldable coming for 2026, so that's the next step. Okay, so in terms of who's actually the skinniest phone, it's gonna go to the iPhone 17 Air, coming in at 5.5 millimeters versus the S25 Edge's 5.8 millimeters. It's 0.3 that much to really, no. Listen, they're both gonna be extremely thin and they're gonna feel quite different in the hand for sure. I wonder how much battery, how much durability, and how much more can they pack into these over time, or are we at the limitations? Because as you guys can see, we have less cameras and less in a lot of other pro features or whatever, high-end features. One thing though, in the rumor that isn't far from pro on the Samsung side is the pricing. Now the pricing is coming in at a rumored $1,100 to $1,200 from Samsung, which is whoa in comparison to the rumored $899 from iPhone. Now, Apple has been staying true to keeping their pricing on their smartphones, even on the Pro models and Pro Max models, having like little to no increase year after year and so forth. Like, man, they've really been keeping their pricing in line, with Samsung on the other end always going up year after year. So I don't know if this is gonna bite Samsung in the rear to come in at such a high price point in comparison to Apple's price point, but there are differences in what you get on Samsung's device versus Apple's. But is that worth the extra, what is it, like $300 or $200 to $300 in comparison? Now, when it comes to weight, we don't really have official weight in the area of either of these. I think I saw like a rumor for the S25 Edge around 163 grams or something, but we can't hold, any officials to that just yet. Everything is just, dummy models. And I mean, Samsung did have something on display, but it was like, blocked off where people couldn't really touch or get onto it or hands on, and so forth. So I'm pretty sure that's going to come closer to the true announcement date of the May 13th. But another area where the rumors are a little up and down, going left or right, is in screen sizing. Now, the iPhone 17 Air is rumored to have like a 6.6 inch OLED screen. Tech coming from Samsung, which is a W to get OLED on, especially at that price point. If it sticks to that $899 price point to have OLED, and they are also rumoring ProMotion, I don't know how true that is, but hey man, OLED 120 hertz, which it'll make sense if they're getting the screen technology from Samsung and it's OLED. Samsung does that AMOLED 120 hertz thing like nobody's business. And the S25 Edge's screen size is rumored to be like a 6.8 inch screen. So it's gonna be slightly a smidge bigger of a device and a smidge bigger of a screen size. And you already know with Samsung, you're gonna get that AMOLED goodness with, 120 hertz. It better be, especially at that $1,100 to $1,200 price tag. I'm pretty sure Samsung's gonna give you, what you are expecting from Samsung. Now, another area of topic of discussion is going to be platform, right? We got Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is what Samsung's going with currently, 8 Elite for Galaxy, you know what I mean? And I'm expecting them to continue it there in the S25 Edge, especially at that price point. They better. And that's been great efficiency, great battery life, great performance on the Samsung Galaxy platform this year. I've been raving about the S25 Ultra since it released, and I'm gonna continue to because it's really that good, and that's a great combo of components. So if we see that in the S25 Edge, that is a W, as Apple will continue on with their wonderful Bionic A whatever chip it is. It's going to be fast, it's going to be smooth, and it will be efficient as usual. I mean, they've been on that track record for year after year after year, and they control everything, the closed loop. So it's more of a guarantee for sure. And that should have Apple's latest iOS 19. This should be dropping alongside the other iPhones and so forth. And then we'll have, Samsung's One UI, their latest one, One UI 7, along with Android 15. Now, things get a little bit interesting in the camera department because it seems that Apple is opting in for their one single camera, which it should be their 48 megapixel main camera, which is the main camera that you use consistently on the Pro models or the regular devices, and that camera is solid 100%. Now in terms of Samsung, they throwing a little bit more sauce in there with a 200 megapixel main camera that we know from the S Ultra lineup, as well as the 12 megapixel ultra wide. So you're getting a little bit more in camera over there, and I will say the S25 Ultra's camera and the camera processing, everything they got going this year, finally skin tones are right. I love to see it. So nice camera offering on both cameras, both devices, and I don't see you going wrong either way. Yes, you may have a lack of the ultra wide on the rear with the Air, but you're also not paying nearly as much as you would with the Edge, which is in flagship pricing, which is crazy because it's over $1,000. If Apple seals this right under $1,000, they may have sealed the market for this whole slim smartphone form factor. It depends though. There's loyalists to both sides. So the Samsung Galaxy Knights, you guys are gonna unite, and you guys that go with the Edge as the iPhone, some people call them fanboys or whatever, the Apple loyalists will roll with the 17 Air, or they're just gonna get the 17 Pro or 17 Pro Max. That's another reality too. Who are these Air phones and Edge devices actually for? Who is this super thin smartphone looking to attract? Are you attracted by these super thin devices, or is this a reach? Now, right now, as far as battery goes, Apple's pretty, closed doors on the milliamp hours or whatnot. I'm pretty sure we'll find that out later. But it seems that the S25 Edge is rumored to have a 3,900 milliamp hour battery. Not as massive as the 5,000 milliamp hour battery we see in the S25 Ultra. But with this new 8 Elite processor, 3,900 milliamp hours, and that slim form factor seems to be a pretty solid possible battery. We'll have to see once we get one and use one and we see how they actually drain with real everyday user experience, not just the 2-week or the 1-week rush embargo joints. You got to see how these things go, beyond a month and so forth. Okay, so some things to think about and to consider and to wait to be announced is the reality. Will the 17 Air have a 120 hertz refresh rate screen or a Apple 60 hertz, which I think is going to be 120 hertz possibly. With them, using the Samsung OLED, it should be at 120. And the last thing to consider is, do you really want a smartphone that's this thin? Hit the comment section down below. I find it kind of intriguing. I like, small form factor devices, even though I tend to daily larger devices. Like we have this and the S25 Ultra. Those are my two daily devices. And, those are larger, heavier devices. I love when the device is light. You know what I'm saying? But if you could get a light device and still keep, a nice size screen and so forth, there are compromises, obviously, with going this thin. You probably won't have the same Face ID or the same, components in general. Like, what are the speakers going to be like? Things like that. Those are the things that I consider or I think about with the user experience with these devices, because there will be trade-offs. With a smaller body, there's smaller room, and there's less, ability to pack in what we typically see with our flagships, which is why these devices are falling in between certain areas, with the 17 Air falling in between the iPhone Plus model and the iPhone Pro model, which is actually a cool little sweet spot, right? And then we have the S25 Edge. At that price point, I mean, obviously, it's in between the Ultra and the normal S devices or the S Plus device. But yeah, it's interesting with that price. So we're gonna see how everything falls out. But I'm just kind of curious, where are you guys leaning? If you guys are looking in between these two devices, which device are you leaning towards more? You know what I mean? Was it $1,100 to $1,200 with the S25 Edge versus $899 with the iPhone? Does that price point change your perspective with the iPhone, even though it's having, you know, one less camera and so forth? Or are you just wanting the whole kit and caboodle with, you know, the dual, you know, you got 200 megapixel over there and whatnot, you know, what Samsung typically does? Or is that too rich for your blood? Oh, and one more thing before you guys go and get out of here. I want to let you know one thing. Yo, Walmart got y'all covered with mobile tech, and they got gaming tech on deck. Whether you team Samsung with the, you know, Buds 3 Pro, or you team iPhone with the AirPods 4 active noise cancellation. I got all my gaming headsets that I did for my recommended video, you know, listed, link down below. Go check it out, you guys. Just something I just wanted to let you guys know, that you can get tech at, you know, Walmart. Yeah. My name is CJ. I know tech, so you don't have to, but y'all know everything, right? You guys probably already know about all of this, and you guys probably are the reason why I even know what I know about this, right? Comment down below. Peace.